Good morning, guys, and welcome to the vlog. Today we're going to talk about the differences in a few different types of animals. We have a lot of animals here, and people sometimes wonder, hey, these kind of look alike. Are they the same? Are they different? So we're going to show you a few and tell you what the differences are.
All right, everybody. So today I'm going to tell you what the key differences are between our flowerhorn and our red devilfish. So our red devilfish is actually going to get to be larger in size, where the flowerhorn stays smaller in size. And that also is true of the hump that they have on their forehead. So the red devil is going to have a larger hump just naturally due to its size, where the flowerhorn is going to be that smaller species. They also have different variations in their color patterns. So the red devil, the one that we have, has some red and some white mixed in, where our flowerhorn has all sorts of crazy cool colors. What's interesting about the flowerhorn is that the flowerhorn is actually bred specifically to enhance having a larger hump on its forehead or to have some of those special color patterns, where the red devil is more naturally occurring in their natural habitat.
All right, guys, so I'm gonna start off with the Rhinoceros Iguana. This is Diddy Kong. He is absolutely amazing. I think what's so cool is, named after a rhinoceros, he has that really dark gray color and a huge horn on his nose, which is also so cute. These guys are herbivores, so they have really sharp teeth for ripping leaves and all the vegetation that they would eat in their native range. And the other cool thing about these is they are really heavy-bodied lizards. So they're not gonna get nearly as long as like your green iguana, but probably be at least double in weight. So he's giving me a good little arm workout right now. They are endangered, so it's really important that if you do end up having one, that you're getting one that was captive bred and just properly sourced. So this is Diddy, our amazing rhino iguana. And this is the green iguana. This is Biggie, our sweet boy, which you can see he absolutely loves attention. Say hi, Biggie. So he is a green iguana. These are gonna get a lot longer than your rhinoceros iguana. He can get 6.5 feet. He's probably pretty close to that if you look at that tail. They are also herbivores, so they're gonna eat a whole bunch of veggies, which he absolutely loves. Coloring, completely different. Your green iguanas obviously have this really bright green color, and they also have a lot of oranges in them and really pretty colors. He has this giant dewlap, which he can use to communicate for territory or attract a female. Another really cool thing about this, he's a male, so you see these huge jowls. Diddy also has that too, which is a bit of sexual dimorphism in iguanas, just to have these really powerful cheeks. So the green iguana also is a very common species and highly invasive, especially in South Florida. They obviously breed really quick, they lay a ton of eggs, and they do great in any tropical environment, and that is the perfect environment for them. Another really important difference between the two is the green iguana is going to be a lot more arboreal, so you're going to find him in trees hiding, where the rhinoceros iguana is more terrestrial.
So we have two different kinds of chameleons here, although they look pretty similar, and people often ask, are they the same or what's the difference? Well, we have one that's a nosy bee and the other is a Parsons chameleon. Now they both come from Madagascar, but they're very different in a lot of different ways. Number one, color. Nosy bees can be mainly blue to green and sometimes even have some red in them, while Parsons chameleons pretty much stay the green, and they can have some crazy yellow colorings in there. The biggest difference between the two is definitely size. Now, your nosy bee panther chameleon is definitely going to stay a lot smaller. These guys are going to max out probably around 20 inches or so. Males typically get a little bit bigger than females, while the Parsons chameleon gets much larger. Those can get upwards of 40+ inches long. And the males, again, will get larger than the females. So there's definitely a big difference when it comes to all of those things, even though they look a little similar now.
So the next big difference that we have here at the Reptarium is actually these two little adorable albino turtles. If you guys cannot tell which one is which, that is exactly why we're making this video. This is Tyson, the albino eastern box turtle, and this is Albie, I believe is the name that we went with, the albino sulcata tortoise. As you can see right now, there is not a lot of difference between these guys. Tyson is a little bit darker, and that's just mainly because he buries himself and makes a lot of dirt, mud puddles. And then you have Albie, who is a beautiful little cream color. And we appreciate all of you guys putting your name comments down below when we were trying to figure out what to name this little girl. But I think Albie is the name that we're gonna go with. We had some friends visit from Australia. They said Albie. We were like, that's adorable. So that's kind of what we went with. But again, just look how, first of all, again, how big Tyson is getting, because he is almost the same size as the albino sulcata tortoise. And you guys don't even understand how happy that makes me. But as you can see, Tyson, like I said, eastern box turtle. There's only about 3 albinos in the world. So when we unboxed him, it was very, very cool to actually like get the chance to work with him. And then when Mr. Brian put him in my hand and said, here, this is your responsibility, I said, oh boy. But then we got this little girl from our buddy Hayden. So thank you so much, Hayden. It was a beautiful donation to us, and she is growing at a very sulcata rate. I feel like she has put on a little bit of weight since we got her, but they are slow growers at first, and then all of a sudden she's gonna be that 150 pounds before we know it, and the same size as Speedy. So they don't get nearly as big as the males do. Males can get upwards to about 250 pounds, but sulcata tortoises are one of the world's largest tortoises, also known as the African spur thigh tortoises, because they get the little spurs, and then the males get their big daggers or spurs in the front that they use to combat each other. But the females, and especially albinos, are supposed to be more calm. I don't know if that's true or not, so we're gonna have to wait a few more years to actually find out. But as you can see, both of these guys are doing fantastic. And again, Tyson has a lot more personality between him and Albie, because I've hand-raised Tyson since he was like the size of a dime. And so when I say these guys are actually getting pretty close to the same size, I really do mean that. And it is just so good to see that Tyson is growing. That like growth plate is starting to go away, so he's gonna be hitting size. You better not bite my finger right now. That is not a worm, okay? Just because you hear my voice does not mean you get fed every single day. Turtles. That's the difference.
This is Tiana, our Louiswis hybrid iguana. She is another female iguana we have here at the Reptarium. She is different from Bella for a few reasons. One of the biggest ones being that she is a completely different species of iguana. I know she looks very similar, but she is a hybrid iguana, which means she is a mix of 2 different kinds of iguana species, one being the Cuban rock iguana and the other one being the Grand Cayman blue iguana. So with that, she has different features. She does have this really, really blue hue to her that she gets from the Grand Cayman blue, but she's got super red eyes. You can't tell super well right now. Structurally speaking, she doesn't have those rhino horns on the top of her head like Bella, our girl, does. But I mean, there is a lot of similarities, really. They're both iguanas, being that they're from, various islands in the Caribbean. They're both herbivores. They have this kind of like gray, scaly, bluish color to them. Love basking in the sun and eating their fruit. So there's definitely a lot of similarities there. But there are definitely a lot of key features that you could use to distinguish between the 2 of them. This is Bella, our rhinoceros iguana, and of course, she loves bananas, so I'm just gonna kind of bribe her here with some banana. And as you can see, there are definitely a few distinctive features that are different between her and Tiana. One is that she's got that iconic rhinoceros horn here at the top of her head, and she also kind of has these 2 little lumps on the back of her head, so the shape of her head is a lot different than the Louiswis hybrid iguana. She's also a little bit stockier. Her head is a little bit bigger. I mean, among both iguanas, the females will have like a smaller head typically, but she just definitely has this like bulkier, bigger head than Tiana's is very like pointed and what's the word I'm looking for? Dainty? Not really, but they're a different species. So Louiswis iguana is a hybrid, so they're a mix of 2 different iguanas from 2 different Caribbean islands. Bella here would be typically found like on the islands of Hispaniola, but they have very similar temperaments. So it's kind of funny. We always say that Bella is like a cat, and Tiana very much is that way as well. If you touch her water bowl a weird way, if you take her food, she can get kind of aggressive or fussy about it, not maybe aggressive. And Bella is no different. They are both iguanas that know what they want and what they don't like and what they won't put up with. Just like Tiana, it's also petting is the way to get to her heart. As long as you're petting her, she's cool with you. And that's kind of like what you have to do with Tiana too. So yes, they're different species. They look different, but they act very, very similar.
Hey guys, Adrian here, and this is Chunky Monkey, our Pixie Frog. These guys are from South Africa. As you can see, this is our female because they're a little bit more tinier. But these guys are so cool. They're the largest species of frog in the world. But I love holding these guys, and they're just so slimy. But these guys can lay to 3,000 to 4,000 eggs at a time. That's just crazy cool. The females do get a little bit smaller than the males, but still so cool. This is Son of Sam. He is our male pixie frog. As you can see, he's about twice the size. This guy's massive. But I love holding these guys. He's super slimy, but the males do get much bigger, as you can see. And this is just so cool how big he gets to get. But they start out so tiny and get so big, but this is so cool.
Right here we have AJ. AJ is our Blackthroat Monitor. And these guys are super awesome. They will get up to 6 feet, which is absolutely huge. They also can weigh about 40 to 50 pounds, which is also huge. Of course, these guys are carnivorous. They do something that is really awesome and makes them unique as well. They secrete a substance that smells very similar to maple syrup. AJ is still pretty young here, so we're still working on the training with him, but you can see he is displaying that beautiful black throat that he's got, which is absolutely awesome. For 2 years old, he is a spicy little monkey. Next up, we have Grits. Although Grits might look bigger than AJ right now, keep in mind that Grits is full grown. Grits is about 6 years old, so she is maxed out. Now, she is pretty large. One of the biggest white throats monitors that I have actually ever seen, especially for being a female. But these guys are super cool. They typically get about 3 feet. Can weigh 15 and 20 pounds. These guys do come from South Africa and just a beautiful species of monitor. And as you can tell, they do not have the black throat. They have the white throat. Also carnivorous.
One of the big differences that we have with some of our albino monitors is Chicken Strip here. So Chicken Strip is actually an albino Nile monitor. So these guys are from Africa. Chicken Strip is one of the largest Nile monitors that we have. Actually, we only have 2. So between him and Lyle, he's getting big now. When Brian and Lori first got him, he was literally the size of a chicken tender. And I'm surprised he's being as chill as he is, because Chicken Strip is never this chill. But we do have another albino monitor that everyone gets confused with when they see them on the camera. So that's why we're going to show you Hiccup next. But Chicken Strip is one of the only albino Nile monitors in the world. And I'm out of breath because he is strong and heavy and always gives me a run for the money. But he is just absolutely beautiful. So let's go show you Hiccup. This is Hiccup. Hiccup is our snowblind albino Asian water monitor. So that is one of the biggest difference between Hiccup and Chicken Strip, is that Chicken Strip is the Nile monitor. He is an Asian water monitor. So these guys come from Indonesia, the Philippines, all sorts of different Southeast Asian versus Africa. So these guys do get a lot larger than the Nile monitors. Asian water monitors are the 3rd largest species of monitor on the planet. And Hiccup is only about, gosh, I always forget about times, but he's probably like 3.5, 4 years old now. And he's already almost the same size as Toothless. And Toothless is our melanistic Asian water monitor. Hiccup has always been a very chaotic kind of monitor. He doesn't really love to be picked up and handled a whole lot. But as you can see, he is very good. We do different interactions with people. He's gonna probably poop all over me right now. I see that tail going up, dude. There it is. Little poo-poo. Don't walk in it though. Ew. So again, guys, that's one of our biggest differences between Chicken Strip and Hiccup. Again, Nile monitor versus albino Asian water monitor. They are both albinos, but they are very different in so many ways, from attitude to coloration to feeding responses to just overall handling. But that is the 2 big differences between the 2.
We had a lot of fun today showing you the differences between all the different types. I think Tyson had the most fun out of all the animals today, but I know the crew enjoyed it too. Let us know down in the comments if there's any others that you're curious about that we didn't talk about.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.